We are live, I think. I'll let you know in a minute when I see it on my YouTubes. But hello, everyone. Welcome to Double D
Hi,
Life Chat. Daniel's here. Say, hey, Daniel.
I am. I'm like a bad penny. I keep turning up.
So we're just going to wait for some more people to come in. How's your day been, Daniel?
It's sunny, so we're good on that. We didn't have any horrible storms last night, so good on that. And I got packages to deliver after this is over, so we're good on that.
So let's see. I see Christine, Miss Side Street Market. She got us snacks. I see Beth hoping this doorbell don't ring where she's at work. I see Kathy D. Hey, Kathy. So this is, like I said, this is an informal chat just about certain, topics that either one of us wants to bring to the table and just have a good old kiki about it, a good old discussion. And sometimes it'll be fun and light. Sometimes it may be a little more serious, or sometimes it may spark a debate that you didn't even think about. You didn't even, in fact, the subject we're going to talk about today was something I hadn't really thought about till I heard it on a radio show on the way home from work. It only caught like the end snippet of it. So we'll talk about that in a minute. And I was like, oh, yeah. And it's not something I think that would have started a debate. But when I start talking like with Daniel and Dave, and I was like, okay, this is debatable, you know. So hey, Jazdia, thanks for coming in. I hope everybody's doing well. Today it
Also,
was sunny here. Yeah.
also, most importantly, don't forget to hit the thumbs up.
Thank you. Don't forget to hit thumbs up.
Let's
And
match those thumbs up to how many people are in here.
I see Sheila. Hey, Sheila. And Miss Lena Ray, all the way from Georgia. Hello, Miss Lena. Um, yeah, so the thumbs up. Also, Daniel's channel is in the description of this video. Oh, yeah, it is. I just want to make sure before I said it, it's up there.
And also, if I act funny or anything, I don't know how you guys are seeing it, but I'm having trouble with Dolores. She's breaking up. I there
I see
there's
it,
there's
actually.
a lot
Yeah.
of breakup
So what
and
am I?
stop. So if I kind of look like this and trying to figure out what she's saying,
I see Helen, New England Thrifter. I see Thrifter.Hoarder. Oh, it is kind of breaking up. Should I go out and come back in?
can
Do you
you
think that'll
do
help?
that as the lead thing without shutting us down?
I think I can.
You can. So, stay tuned. It may be just me here. She's gonna, I guess, go out and try to come back in, or if we disappear, look for us in a few minutes.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay. So I'm still up here. Hello, everybody. So Dolores is having a little bit of a technical problem, so she's going to go out and come back in to see if that helps fix it.
Oh, that sounds, I can hear you much better too, as well.
Okay.
So,
All right.
am I back?
I think, yeah, I see you. Do you see us both,
Okay.
everybody? I
Yeah, I
guess.
think we're okay. I see I see Margaret Albers. I see Kimsey. Hey, Kimsey. Oh, your guana. She's looking at your brooch.
Oh, the uh, chameleon. Thanks. It also glows.
Oh, does it really?
Yes, it was a friend gift. Oh, crap. I don't remember who sent it. It was friend mail. We're going to be having a discussion on that tomorrow. Just saying.
Hey, Norma Jeannie. Thank you for showing
Hello.
up.
Guys, thanks
So
for
I've got,
coming in.
I know. Thanks so much. So, do you have your volume up? Because I hear feedback.
I have it like I had it last week.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm just talking really loud.
Okay, I turned it down.
Okay. No, I still hear it. We're having all kinds of fun today, y'all. Let me do this. Hey, what's Tammy up to?
Okay, your voice disappeared and now it's going into something else.
Hang on. Hopefully. Okay, that might be better. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear
Okay,
me?
cool. Yes, I can't hear the feedback either. How's everybody else? Okay, hey Chicago lady. So Dave came in. So what we're going to talk about today is, are you ready? Should we start?
Yeah, sorry, I was reading. You know me in the comments, I get caught in them. Yes, go for it.
So the other day on the way home from work, I caught a snippet of a BBC Five Live. I was just, it's like talk shows kind of things. And the very end of the conversation I got of this program was something about, would it be possible for Britain to be cashless society? And that's the subject I want to talk about. Cashless society. Is it possible for not just the UK, but for the Western world? Is it possible? Can we live without actual cash? Can it all be digital, electronic, through the interwebs, you know, Bitcoin? And that'll be the only time you hear me use the word Bitcoin. Hey, Judy. Um, so, I mean, obviously, cashless societies have existed. Oh, they do it on Star Trek. Well, good to know. They have a night. Everybody's nice on that ship until the bad guys come, and then it's not so nice. Um, uh, we've been a cashless society in the past. We uh, have depended on bartering items back and forth, and the cash. I think cashless society, the actual cash was invented by the Chinese. The actual paper money coins, and like a long time ago, I think it was 900 BC. Don't quote me. I think that's what it was. Um, Trade economy. I will Fenton for my Ellie Smith. True. I can't pay my bill with Fenton. No, I can't pay my light bill. I don't think the light company gonna take Fenton, but I wish it would. Um, so, and we've, like this in the past, we've bartered, we've traded, for goods. We haven't always been uh, people with cash, but obviously in the last millennia, we've had cash. So, are we going to move towards the digital equivalent of cash? Is it going to be where no one wants money? It's just all done online. Um, by the 90s, electronic banking really was a thing, and by the 2010s, it was all on. Everybody was, you had smartphones, and you know, I don't even have apps, but you had those smartphones, you had computers. Everybody was doing things a little bit differently. So let's see what everybody says. Star Trek again, cashless society is only possible with the ability of replicators, so that people have access to what they need. Um, I can see it happening, but I would miss cash. I'm old school. Um, yeah, my personal thoughts on it is I don't want to see cash go. And but then there's also advantages. I mean, Daniel, what do you think about it? How do you feel about a cashless society? Or if it's
Well,
even possible?
I mean, it's according to what your definition of cashless is, because we're kind of there with debit cards and credit cards.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah. I mean, paper
the
coins.
places you
Yeah.
work anymore do not give you checks. They want you to do direct deposit, and then you have your debit card where you never see. I never go to the bank anymore to get cash. I have my debit card, and I never see money from my business, it goes directly to the bank, and there's no exchanging of physical cash. So that, if you go by that definition, that's a cashless society. And we have a lot of that because places want you to have a bank account and they want you to link it. And that's how you pay things. They don't, a lot of
Mhm.
places will not accept cash anymore. Where it used to be, they wanted cash and they didn't want a check or they didn't want a credit card. Now you see signs,
Right.
we don't accept cash, or um, for some reason we're having a shortage of coins over here in America, and there's a lot of signs up
Mhm.
saying we'll only accept correct change, cannot give change back, as far as cash goes.
Right.
So it's according to what your definition is. I mean, we're kind of there, sort of. It's just according. I
Right.
mean, and what is cash? Like you said, they used to use in different places. They used seashells for currency. They used flower bulbs for
Right.
currency. I
Mhm.
it's,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We had a system where there wasn't always cash.
so I mean, we're
There's been
kind of sort of
societies that
there.
don't have
It
cash.
kind
Yeah.
of puts you toward that nowadays.
Right. And but here's some good points. So obviously Liz like keep the cash flow. Um, Sheila only uses cash for tips. The new Bitcoin, Judy, that's the only time you hear me use Bitcoin. The new Bitcoin craze weirds me out. I don't get it. I mean, a while back, a couple of years ago, I thought, oh, I should get some, but I had no idea what I was buying. I feel like it's the emperor's new clothing. You tell me it's there, but I don't see it. That's kind of how I feel like Bitcoin is. I mean, and I know that it's an actual like it's a commodity. Well, no, gold is commodity. Diamonds are commodity. Land is, that because that's the way, obviously we're older. That's how we were taught. People now will be taught that Bitcoin is a commodity. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that your perception will change. So, and here's a good thing that Beth said. I use cash all the time, mainly because her identity was once stolen. And that's all it takes. It was a nightmare. See, there's that side of it. Hey, Tammy, Vintage Uprising, Texas. Um, uh, see, she said Bitcoin sounds shady. It's the Emperor's new clothing. Telling you. Um, and a lot of people are old school. They do want to use cash, and there's certain. But again, cash. There you have. Here's so. Let me list some advantages. Okay, some of the advantages are obviously you eliminate counterfeit money. You eliminate theft of people who work in the place and they steal the money. You burglary of cash, the cost of the security, the cost of making cash, the cost of transporting cash, because that's not cheap. You have to, that costs money to do that. It's not you just put it on the 18 wheeler and, going down the way. Um, uh, also, also the reducing of transmission of diseases, which everybody was concerned, for the past couple of years. But also, you can just get as many germs on a keypad at the ATM. So, you know, you're gonna, if you really want, they're get them anywhere, germs. Okay, so we've had some work to come in. I see Sharon. Hey, Sharon, girl. Mike. Hey, Mike. Hey, Misty. Uh, Misty says, I use business debit card for my business. I have a credit card in a lockbox. I will use it only in case there's an emergency. I don't even know what Bitcoin is. Girl, the only time I will say Bitcoin is after someone else said it. It's not a word. What are the advantages you can think of? I mean, you can think of, Daniel. Yeah.
Advantages?
Of going cashless.
I don't see, my brain is so past that. There will always be currency. There will always be
Right, but
some type
yes.
of
Yeah,
currency, but as far as paper and coins, and each country has their own
right.
thing.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, yeah,
I don't think the world will go cashless.
yeah.
I just
I
I don't
don't
see it.
know. I don't.
then you also have to factor in with currency, cash, or whatever, debt. Our world is run by debt.
Yeah.
We're run by
Yes,
debt.
correct.
If I mean, the governments are in debt up to their hilts. They keep us wanting to be in debt up to. That's what keeps these currency societies going. So I could see it maybe going cashless, but you'll never get rid of currency.
No, and I don't mean like currency will always exist in some way, shape, or form because you have, you know, people need to be paid, people got to get paid, and all that. What I'm talking about is good old dollars, pounds in money form, in paper form. Uh, yeah, again, and Missy pointed out something good that she got in trouble in college with credit cards, and that was another thing I wanted to bring up, or debit cards and all the such. It's like if with when you have money, you're like counting it. You know, like I only have 5 physical dollars in my hand, so I can only go spend 5 physical dollars. If you have a card, you're like, well, I know I might have five and a half, six, and then I have an overdraft, so they're not going to go into that. That causes a lot of people a lot of problems. You know, that's where, and that's what you're talking about, debt. You know, that getting into your debt and thinking you have more money when it's not really. I mean, you can have an overdraft, but that money's not technically there. You have to pay that money back. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, people would just go to, even though you say I only have this much, they're going to go borrow money from other people or the banks. Hey, can you loan me $5
Right. Well, I
till I get
think,
paid
yeah.
next? And you might get it, you might not. And here's the other thing: since we're on the subject of what should be taught and what shouldn't be taught in schools, because we don't want to talk about race, we don't want
Mhm.
to talk about people that are different than other people. Well, then focus your energy on teaching the children here in America how to balance a frickin' checkbook, how not to be an Instagram society where you want everything right now and worry about paying for it later,
Yeah.
and paying for it in different ways. It's not just paying the money back, it's having to deal with the debt and all that stuff. Turn your energy where you need it to go instead of on stupid stuff. I mean, teach the children
Right.
how not to get in debt, which they never will do because they want everybody in debt because that's what keeps things rolling. Teach the children how to handle money, what it's worth, how they can spend it, that they don't need to have things exactly right now because we're an Instagram society
Right.
and everybody
Mhm.
should have the best of everything. Just my
And I don't
thought.
even think it's like an Instagram society. It's, I mean, yeah, but and people are influenced by what they see on social media and all that. It's not even that. It's an instant gratification. And, you know, I want it now. And I don't care if I have to use this card, this card, this card, this card, I'll get it. And that's the problem. I remember, she, girl, me too. We were taught square in school. No, but I remember taking a class where I had to learn how to write a check. You know, like that was part, I think it was, I don't know if it was a math or a life class or something. Now, I haven't written a check now in over 15 years. I have not written a check. I don't even have a checkbook because that doesn't really, writing checks here isn't really a thing. They got rid of that. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, very few people I know even own a checkbook here in the UK.
I do. I use them all the time.
Yeah, and some, yeah, a lot of my friends in the States do, but not so much here. So let's look at some of the so Dave in the Med Center, I know teachers that teach debt and finance management as after school tutorials. See, that would be good. But I think it should be in mainstream schools. Just like you have health class, you have your card, you know, the only thing I remember from health class, or actually not even from health class, but from, you know, when you took driver's ed, I remember it scaring me to death of railroads. I hated crossing railroads after that. Um, uh, Jenny says she taught their daughter only have 200 of her paycheck since she was 16 to go to her bank account. That's good. That's how you teach people to save. Um, they taught us that, yeah, square dancing was always a very popular choice of teaching in school. Oh yeah, Kitchen Cat. I remember being in high school and asking them to teach us how to balance the checkbook, open a account, save, etc. Yeah, I guess it was economics that I took it in. Yeah, and I see. Yeah, a lot of people are saying like, I don't keep a checkbook. I have a lot of people in the chat use their debit cards, Apple Pay, you know, whatever, to pay for stuff. And very few people use cash. I mean, there's certain instances where cash. I mean, so this is what I was saying to Daniel before we came on. Are you going to go to the garage sale, get your items, and go? And someone's going to be running the garage sale and go, here's my square. You can pay me. I mean, I don't know how often that happens. If it happens, tell me in the chat, because I don't see that it happens. I mean, well, we don't have garage sales, but we do have like tabletop sales and stuff like that. And I ain't never seen no one take out the square to have me pay them. It's always been cash.
The thing with things like that and your antique malls and stuff like that, they prefer a check or cash because there's no extra credit card check or charge.
Yeah. Hey, Chrissy, the Scottish Magpie. Y'all, that's one of my favorite persons. Sorry, Daniel. Chrissy, the Scottish Magpie. She's an advocate for cash, and she's from Scotland, so she also goes to car boot sales. And I don't know anybody at the car boot sale getting a square out, saying, "Here's my PayPal." It doesn't happen. It just doesn't. I mean, I would be okay if it did, but it's usually all cash based. So a Venmo, yeah, Geneva Venmo, I consider getting that as an option for, paying people, because a lot of people take Venmo. I don't know much about it, but so and like the advantages are the transaction, the speed of the transaction. It's quick. For instance, when people buy stuff from you or me or whatever, we're not waiting for a check to show up. It's like instant. It's instant payment, which is good. And that also the elimination of obviously the money laundering. There's a lot of that. That eliminates that. But also people can put their money, they can launder their money in, and I'm not telling you how to do it. I'm just saying people. I'm not teaching you how to do it. I'm just saying they can put it in gold, diamonds, property, whatever. So, it's just those are the advantages. Some of the disadvantages. Let's talk about that. Do you have any disadvantages, Daniel, you want to talk about?
Well, identity theft is one of them. I mean, and
yeah,
constantly the way people can steal your card numbers without having to have a PIN or anything, because I mean, it's happened to me.
Yeah.
I don't care for that. And I don't know if I don't know how to put this. It seems more lazy than when you used to have to take your check into the bank, and before you put your check into the bank, you had to sit down and figure, now, do I want this much to go to a house payment and this much to go here? And then I would like this much back with me to carry with me to go grocery shopping and all that stuff. So you had to think more, and you had to physically go someplace, and you had to physically do things. Now it's just done for you, and you can sit in the house all day long, 24 hours a day if you want to.
You in your pajamas doing it.
Because you can throw that money around online and pay your bills and move it here and do this and do that. You never have to leave the house ever. Hence why I am 5,000 pounds now.
But not 5,000 pounds. Angela, so she's been doing craft shows for 12 years, but she's had to get the square as soon as it was available because 80% of the people didn't have cash on them. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's the thing. A
Yeah,
lot
I
of
just,
people are now do not walk
yeah,
around with cash on them. They have their debit cards, and I am one of them.
yeah,
I rarely ever get cash anymore. And so, yeah, if you're going to sell something,
right.
you're going to miss sales. If you can't do a credit card or a debit card, you're going to miss sales. That's just the truth of it.
Yeah, oh, 100%.
Even in the antique malls, if somebody's in there with just a card and they see a sale and it says only this, they're going to pass over that sale because they can't
Right.
get the same discount as the person who has cash. So they're going to move on to something else. Even I will look for signs and see if it says cash or check only. If it doesn't, I will buy from the person who lets me have a discount with my card.
Right. And I think someone else put in the chat that, oh, Lena, at one time you got discounts for paying with cash. And that's, yeah, that's true. And then Judy had hers stolen and went to the bank to report it. They were trying to use her card and she had no idea how they got her information, but they sure did love Papa John's. So scary world. It is scary. It is scary. And that's part of the disadvantage. You know, it's very traceable, your digital financial footprint. Very traceable, very open to, like data mining and all that and gathering your information. And that's how a lot of scams start, where, let's say you were somebody who you wanted some new windows, okay, and you went online and you ordered some new windows, and then you start getting people contacting you about, well, they assume you need a roof or some other kind of work. They come to you, you pay them, you don't get your work. It's just, or they there's all these scams that go on with, especially with older people. And I'm an old person, so I'm not just saying that. I'm old. So, and and some of the emails and stuff you get, it just seems so real. But you have to know how to look for the the scam emails and text, even text. People are getting text all the time. Yeah, I like a little. My mama used to always say, "Don't you better have a couple of dollars in your pocket in case you have to get home." I'm like, "How am I getting home with a couple of dollars?" you know, not even the bus is a couple of dollars, mom. That was back in the '80s. So, but yeah,
Well,
and here's my other. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to bring up the subject of like we were talking. Then you have like the homeless or the undocumented
Hmm.
workers or people who don't have addresses. And if you have to get a bank account or any other thing, job or anything, you have to have an
Yeah.
address. I mean, it's based on
Hmm.
which country you live in and which, company you're working for. But I mean, you have to do what they ask. So, I mean, even post office, you have to have an address to get a post office box.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing. And we were discussing this because I looked it up to see, can a homeless person get a bank account? And the short answer is no. But a lot of major cities here in the UK, like Manchester and Birmingham, are starting to allow people who are homeless to open bank accounts without even ID. Now, I don't know how they're doing that. I don't know how they do a background or whatever they need to do. But hey, Becky, if you want to get yourself out of that situation, you can't get a job, you can't get a bank account. How do you get yourself out? That's what I'm saying about with the just all cashless. There's no way to have that money to get yourself out.
Yeah. I mean,
And
they're not going to
yeah,
have debit cards and credit cards and bitcoins.
right. Yeah, Bitcoin stuff. That's what I became say Bitcoin. Also, there's obviously and we know this happens, cyber attacks, outages, you know, uh, internet outages, especially with the price of electricity going up and everything. There may be more and more outages to where you can't access these things.
Well, and that's the thing, especially with what's going on right now. One cyber attack from somebody who knows
Mm,
how to do it can shut down a whole nation. If all our computers went down right now, just
yeah,
think of that. Just think of
Yeah.
that. All the
Well,
computers,
even if it's an accidental outage,
not
yeah,
for an hour, not for 2 hours. If it was shut down for weeks on end, think about that. Think what
right,
it would.
yeah,
You couldn't go shopping anywhere because none of their computers would work to scan their
yeah,
stuff and put that in. Plus, you couldn't use your cards. I mean, that would all be gone because
yeah.
everything's run off of the net now.
Unless,
Just
yeah,
honestly, think about the chaos and the violence that would come from that.
oh yeah. You could even go like, oh, I'm gonna get some money at the ATM. It ain't working. You're not getting no money out. Even if you had the money, everybody would be, and here, and in a way, everybody would be on the same playing field at that point because no one would have access to money unless you had it under a mattress in your bed,
You know,
under your bed or something.
I believe, I mean, there would still be people with cash somewhat.
Yeah.
I think you would have to close your store. I, I remember back in the day that we had to shut down a couple times because we couldn't accept anything. None of our stuff was
Mm-hmm.
working. We couldn't keep track of the product that was going out. We couldn't, we didn't do the old fashioned stuff where you used to write things down and all that. And we had to actually close the store down for a day.
See, Kathy Dees and Christine point this out, and I'm from Houston. I've lived through it. Uh, Getting the money out before the hurricane hits. If you're or if you know that this is coming, and with hurricanes you get some warning, you know, they'll empty those auto banks out because they're like, everything's gonna be down for at least a week, if not longer, with the lack of electricity. Oh, and now Helen is like, that's it. She's stocking up on peanut butter and fluff. That's it. She's done. In case anything happens, she's ready. So you know what I mean? It's like, and that's the thing. And here's the other things. Um, Another thing that uh, uh, what I was going to say is sometimes there was this discussion about taxing each transaction. So if they all know what if the man, and I'm not trying to be conspiracy theorist, I'm just saying if they can see all your transaction, what would stop the government from taxing each transaction?
I'm not getting what you're meaning.
If I pay you, like let's say I send you money in PayPal. Let's just say I feel like giving you $50 because it's your birthday, whatever, and I sent you $50, and it's a electronic and digital transaction. What if they think, okay, well, if everything is based on digital, then why wouldn't the government want to tax each transaction you make? I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying, is that a reality?
Probably.
Because it's traceable. Everything's traceable. And you also have again, like when I say older people, I'm 53. So when I say older, I mean like my husband is 67. He's like, I ain't banking online, ain't gonna happen. Now he doesn't have a bank account. He doesn't like put all his money under his bed, but he's just like not doing it. And I think he's concerned because people are so easily conned that you don't know what's real and what's not sometimes, especially if you're not privy or you weren't brought up with that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they've made it to where you could really be scammed bad because they send
Yeah.
official looking that looks if you
Yeah.
don't know what to look for. I mean, even when I was contacted about my card, I ignored
Mhm.
that because it looked like a fishy, suspicious thing. I
Yeah.
called my bank on the Monday and found out it was a real thing, but I wasn't going to respond to him because I'd never had that before and it looked suspicious.
Mhm.
I didn't know who it was coming from and I knew my bank was not open on the weekends and I'm like, this doesn't look right. I'll just wait and
Right.
call him on Monday. And that's the only way I knew that it was real.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, hey, Kelly, that's like, oh, yeah, Judy, we are so overtaxed in this country, girl. You want to come live here? You're not taxes. um, But and that's the thing. Like Dave, for instance, here's a prime example. I have a Netflix account. It's in my name. I pay for it. Dave gets an email and he says, Dolores, they said they were going to turn off our Netflix account. He said, why are they emailing me? It's not even in my name. I said, because it's a scam, Dave. See, and that's what he's worried about. Like if he does something that he always checks with me first, like, what is this? What is this? But what if one time I'm not there, or God forbid, I pass away and he's alive? What? There's no one to tell him that that's, BS. That's not really happening. That's a scam, Dave. You know what I mean? And some people don't have that person to tell them that. Oh, let's see. What is it? Oh, hey, Jane. I got a handwritten letter saying I had money in a retirement account. Michelle says she'd take care of Dave if I pop my clogs. Thanks, Michelle. I'll send them to you. Um, yeah, it's just, there's so many things that, I mean, there's good points about it. Don't get me wrong. I could go on Amazon and order a cat toy like that. It's here tomorrow. But at the same time, you know, in all honesty, do I need that cat toy tomorrow? Do I? Probably not.
No, but in the last 3 years, 2 years, that has made that much more convenient, popular, and physically safe
Hmm.
to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, correct. You're not going to be, that's true. I saw a side stream. Christine says, I worry about my mom with that all the time. She gets these spam emails and she has to explain it to her. Yeah. And Dave in the Med Center, we're taxed excessively because as a society we allow it. No one votes anymore. Less than 30% of registered voters vote, if that. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if, and I mean, that's a whole another conversation. But, you know, there's some, and then you get to the whole, um, there's a thing that where if the elimination of cash would something about it would escape the nominal interest rates, which is what is used to fight deflation with cash. So if that's not there, would we be able to fight this deflation? If the cash is not actually physically there, because obviously when that happens, they mint more money,
Hmm.
but there's nothing to mint.
But can you even just going cashless? Can you imagine the mess that would be and how long it would take to actually convert
Yeah.
over?
Oh, yeah.
There,
You're
I
right.
I just don't. I think we're too far beyond. You know, there's too many people. I don't think it can
Yeah.
be done
No,
now.
I get what you're saying. I
There's
know
too
what you're
many.
saying.
You may have way back in the days been able to do that, but there are too many people now, and it's set up. It. I just don't think it can be done. There's just always going to be, no matter what you do,
Yeah.
cashless or y- with cash, there are always going to be people who are going to try to make it difficult and do something illegal and to scam
Right.
people and try to get whatever
Yeah.
it is for themselves. Be damned to everybody else. There's always going to be that,
Yeah.
no matter what it is.
Yeah. And see, uh, Judy says there are times when it's almost impossible to distinguish between a scam email from a real one. True. Dave, just the other day, and what did Angela say? As an immunocompromised person, the ability to have things delivered has saved my life. And there's that. That is the plus side. That is where this type of thing is so useful for people like Dave. I mean, like Angela, Dave's immunocompromised. I mean, it helped in that respect. It's wonderful, but I don't know as a in the Western world if that the lack of cash will ever happen. I mean, physical cash. Um, oh, see, yes, Chrissy. Yeah, that was the thing I was going to say, Chrissy. If we went fully digital, we give away a lot of our power to the banks and government. They can shut you down with one click of a button. There's that.
But they can also come in and seize your account. They may not be able
Yeah.
to come in and get the money out of your pockets, but they can come in and see. They can. Everybody who are yelling about taking my rights away and stuff, we don't have them really, because the governments all over the world can come in, take your money, take your property. They can do all that. It's been done. It's still being done, and it always will be done. I mean, people need to stop, walk back a little bit, and think about things. I mean,
Yeah.
when a government is set up,
Then,
they do have control over you, whether you think you
yeah.
have a freedom or not. They can take everything away from you, period.
And that's like imposing financial sanctions on people for whatever reason they want to. If they have all that, all that control over your money, or all that, and if they can access, because they can access it, and yeah, so yeah, you're right, Catherine. South Korea and Finland are almost cashless. I personally like cash. I just feel like if I have $1 bills on me, or well, actually £5 notes, because all of our pounds are coins. They're not notes. They get real heavy after a while. So, yeah, government takes land all the time. Yeah, they could do that even if we weren't all digitized. But I think what some people are saying is that it would be far easier. Like click button, done. They don't have to even go to your house and seize anything. They'd be like going on Amazon. They could just do it in one click and take you out.
They can kind of do that now.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure they can. Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like you give
setting
someone that much.
everything up to be
Yeah,
on the internet.
yeah, for sure. So yeah, I thought that was an interest. I mean, and it was something that I had never really thought about, and I thought, I wonder if that'll be interesting. And then when I talked to Dave, and we got into a big conversation, I talked to Daniel, we got into. I said, yeah, this is interesting. Hey, Simply Suze, I read an article the other day that you should have 2,000 cash on hand. And girl, I'm gonna go to my bank now. Have $2,000 worth of cash
Well, that's the
in
thing.
case you have any
You would
disaster.
have to have it with you. So you would have to have it within your house. And I mean, there again, let's say you have it and you hit it. You wake up 3 o'clock in the morning, your house is on fire. Are you going to be trying to dig that out so it doesn't burn up? Or are you going to run outside if there's smoke and fire everywhere? So then your money disappears there. I mean,
I'm gonna gather all my cats up first. And then
exactly. That's what I'm saying. You're going to try to get out with lives first before you think about that. So if you have $2,000, and here's the other thing though. So if there is a disaster, but all the stores are damaged and all their internet stuff is down, are they going to allow you to come in and pay money for anything? Or are they going to say we're closed? So
yeah, I mean, what's going to be open? Yeah,
what is that $2,000 going to do?
you'd be the richest person on the block at that point.
I mean, you may have to travel to go, and you're always supposed to keep your car full and all that stuff. I'm bad about that. I would be in trouble. I'm just saying, I would be in trouble if that happened.
Yeah, I mean, I see Tammy. Hey, Tammy. She always felt like we'd be paying with our eyeball. Well, kind of now, yeah. And your finger, yeah. Well, that's the thing, because we got so totally. So we had a new canteen installed at work, at my work, and it was before it was an old-fashioned cafe. The ladies was behind the counter making you breakfast, and you was paying with money or a card. Now they got rid of all the people. No one works in canteen no more. They gutted it and they put it's called a micro market. And now you set up an account with your thumb and you put your bank details on there and you can add money to it and to spend your money, you put your thumb on the thing and then you can I want to buy this here. And I go beep, scan it, put my thumbprint on it, takes the money out of my account. It's entirely cashless.
Yeah.
So yeah, I meant to bring that up. Yeah. So I see Mrs. said if it's in the bank, it will get spent. If it's in my firebox, I'll forget about it. See, firebox, you can fire, put your money, put your $2,000 in a firebox. And Dave says it's not. I know it's not the same, but I hear eminent domain. I start hearing eminence front from Pete. I mean, I just thought this was a good discussion. It's just something because you don't think about it to like in the sense that it's not something that you're like, cashless society. You go about your day and live your life a lot of times without cash. And I just thought it was interesting. So I mean, I think that I don't know. I just think I don't want to be without cash personally. I like it. What are your thoughts, Daniel?
Well, I never have cash on me that much, and
Yeah,
that's like,
because
well,
you
here's a
use,
for instance. You like that cash. You can't stand checks. I have checks. I use checks all the time.
it's not that I can't stand them. It's just that they're not used here as much.
You told me you don't have the patience for that stuff to sit there and write that down and wait for people to write
No,
stuff.
no, no, I don't have the patience. I haven't done it in
You
15
can't.
years. Why would I start now?
That's what I'm saying. It's just based on people's preferences.
Yeah, I think it
mean,
is. But yeah, it's just that check writing isn't really a thing here. I'm sure people somewhere, somehow, in another village write checks. I just haven't done it in like 10 to 15 years, and I can't imagine having to go back and go, oh, hang on. You know,
well,
that's just me.
here you hand your check over to Walmart, they run it through a machine. It automatically takes stuff out, and you don't even fill nothing out. It's basically
Still gotta
a
write it.
card that's made of paper.
Yeah,
That's
paper.
how
Yeah,
they do it now. They do direct withdrawals by using the numbers on there. It's basically like a card. I don't.
yeah.
It's just stuff like that. When you try to think about it and how it would work, it would just be. It's so overwhelming, and there's so many advantages and disadvantages both ways.
Correct. Yeah, I just can't see going to the Chesterfield Market and oh Bob getting down his square for me to pay. I just don't see that happening. he
Yeah, I
he'd
know.
probably be like, "What square?" You know.
Exactly. But at some point in the future, it may be like that.
Yeah, yeah. It just might be. I mean, I just think it's something that
I just
you
don't
never think about.
because there's too many under the table things that people
Oh
like.
yeah, that's what
I mean,
someone said. Is too much black market stuff, and
yeah,
you
so
know,
they'll always be. I mean, also, if you're standing on the street corner, you're going to say, "Give me your card." Or if you're dealing in the parking lot, "Give me your card." I
let me
mean,
see your square. Beep. Yeah.
there's always going to be cash around because there are people who don't want to be tracked.
Missy said she's become reliant on automatic payments. Does that scare anyone else? I just trust the bank will pay them on time. You mean uh, debit, like direct debit, where your payments go out to utilities? That's how I do it. It's just set up to pay my light, my electric, my water, my council tax. I do. Yeah.
I do not have anything on automatic payments because I need to know how much the bill is.
Oh, they still send us a bill. It just
Well,
comes out automatically.
and I need to finagle when that is paid.
Right.
So, you know, I don't personally do that just because I want to know if it's a variable
Mhm.
situation, I want control of it.
Yeah, yeah, Misty. Same here. Everything. I'm exactly the same. Everything comes out of a direct debit. It comes out, like I said, lights, water, gas, uh, council tax, Netflix. Whatever. All my utilities and yeah, the rent. Not the rent, but your mortgage, your house payment, whatever. Even in rent, yeah, it comes out. Mine comes out that way. I can always get. I always get a bill, and because I do it online, I know exactly how much is coming out. I can go back. I can go and check. What happens is you're like, what if you pay too much? Then they give your account a credit, like especially with utilities, and they give since it's now 54% increase. We won't go into that, but just a little bitter about it. Um, but so if you overpay, like with your card to like the utility companies, you are then in credit.
We're billed per each thing and it changes each time. So I don't know how we'd overpay.
Well, sometimes you do because, like here, we don't have. So, like in the summer, I wouldn't have my heat on at all, on at all. And they take out a certain amount each month for my
Oh, well, here, if you set up
electric bill.
automatic payments, it's each month. So
Yeah, mine's each
paying
month.
$65.21 was my bill. That's what I'm going to be paying. If next month it's $100.54,
Right.
that's what I'm going to be paying. That's what they're going to take out. Each bill
I mean,
is each.
right.
I'll be back.
The train is going by, y'all. So with a new house, most utilities don't have a non-electronic option. Oh, that's from Angela. Christine said, "We are split. My husband pays some bills on auto. I manually pay her. She manually pays hers online every month." Um, Misty says, "I always forget to pay my car insurance because it is quarterly and I always pay." Yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes you end up, if you forget, and it's easy to do. Sheila, the best thing about being retired is I get a pension on the first day of the month, so no worries about paycheck hitting before the bill comes out. Yeah. And hey, Angela. So yeah, well here it's like, okay, so what they do here is you roughly pay this much. So your bill is round about uh, £90 a month, let's just say, average. So they'll take £90 out of my account. Now, in the summer in which I will use no heat at all, because we don't have air conditioning, and a lot of these houses don't have air conditioning. Maybe some people do, but not here. So not in this house. So in the summer, I won't use as much electricity. So then I'll get an overage. I have paid too much. So then my next bill, less will come out of my account because I already have that in credit. You see what I'm saying?
See,
Yeah.
each place is different here and each company is different. I did sign up for like budget billing is what it was called. So it averaged out what I spent in 1 year and then did that. But at the end of the year, whatever's left over, then they add that into the next year's budget billing. So like mine was one thing,
Right.
but there was a bunch that I owed. And so now it's going to be
Oh,
added on to next. So the bill just went back. I'm like, that does me no good whatsoever. So I've got to stop
right.
budget
Yeah.
billing. That is not going to work
Yeah.
for me at all.
Right. And that doesn't work for everybody. Like it doesn't work for you. Hey, Sandy. So like what I was, Michelle says my utilities are on a budget plan. So that's what you were saying, on a budget plan. So she pays no matter what the bill is. My bill is 225. I can quit anytime. Yeah, if have paid the owed amount or I have credit. That's same here. That's like Chrissy says. Um, Bills automatic out of my bank, but with the gas and electric going up, don't get me started. 54%. Um, they take an increased amount depending on what they estimate you will use. Yeah. Hey, Sassy. So yeah, and it's just I know we're talking about bills. I mean, but this is where something that we don't very think about every day because it's like almost like breathing. You don't think about it. You just do. You just do it. And then when you have a discussion about it, you're like, hang on, wait a minute. And that's what I wanted to bring to the table today is something that doesn't seem like it would be uh, a subject to even debate about, but here we are debating about cash flow. Not in a bad way, but just discussing the advantages, disadvantages, what people like, what people don't like. And that's kind of what I wanted to do with this topic. I just thought I just couldn't believe it's so interesting.
Well, I think we're leaning more toward cashless. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of it now is cashless. If you want to go with it just being electronic. But
Right.
I don't think unless they're a smaller country, I don't think any country is going to get rid of cash.
I would have thought so. I just think that it came on and the whole point of this was I heard, could Britain become a cashless society? I'm like, we have car boots, so no. No, sir.
Like what was said in the chat, even if you do, you're going to have an underground black market of cash.
Correct. You are. And
People
I'm
are
going to be
use
partaking.
cash. They're going to use it because they don't
Yeah.
want to give up, and they'll just go behind all that and find the people that's willing to use cash to get things.
Right. And it's just that, I mean, it was just interesting that I thought, what would that look like? An open mic person, it'd be like nothing. There'd be no coins. There'd be no pound coins. There'd be no notes. There'd be no pence and, 5 pence or, when I go to the States, there's no dimes and nickels and quarters. It was just like empty.
Yeah, I have that.
What do we do with piggy banks?
My wallet never has any money in it. It's just cards. That's all that is in it.
Yeah. And hey, Debbie and Antique Agenda, thank you for popping in. Yeah, but what do we do with piggy banks then? I'm just saying.
You sell them on live sales. eBay, black market.
AFC.
Go out there in the black market for people trying to find piggy banks.
You're like, I got something for your change here. You want to buy?
Hide your money in here. They'll never see it.
They'll never guess you use your piggy bank for actual money. Oh, that's so funny.
And then we could also talk about the bartering and the trading. People may have done that back in the day, but I don't see how that would work because there are jobs now that people don't want to do. So who would do them if it's based on bartering? Like the septic people that are working out there, or the street cleaners, or all the jobs that we don't think about is just automatic. And people are
right. Even in the hospitality industry, how would you pay someone in the hospitality? What would you pay them with? Do you know what I mean? It's like,
what am I going to give you to cook me a meal to sit down and eat it?
My love.
Am I going to come do? Are you going to allow me to come do the dishes afterwards? And am I going to do that? See, bartering and
that's also a trust. That's also a trust thing too, as well.
I mean, the bartering and trading thing is virtually impossible with the system that is set up now. I mean, long haul truck driving, getting stuff around to where it needs to go. I mean, am I going to drive a truck across country for you to give me a bushel of tomatoes? I don't think so.
I'll take pumpkins for my payment.
I want the monies. If I go in with a broken leg, am I going to say, here, doc, here's a dozen eggs?
Oh. You go buy your yacht with this. No. Antique Agenda said she makes trading. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
The days of that is over with. I mean, you might be able to do it personally, but the days of that being a thing is no.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I would like to barter the car boots. I mean, we do. Well, we don't barter, but we try to get the price down.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, small things, yes.
Yeah.
overall things, never again. It's just the way it is.
Never again. I'm not taking your potatoes for my glass beautiful swung vase. Thank you very much. Come in. Back. He's like, he'd be like, nope.
Sorry, the city doesn't allow me to have chickens in the backyard. But thanks for the 5 roosters you're trying to give me.
I know. It's so right. All right, guys. But we're at the top of the hour, and we're going to go ahead and close this wonderful conversation out. And I appreciate everybody coming in and having, and I loved all your opinions and everything you had to say. And it was really fun. I didn't think that this would spark this all.
Oh, yeah. And we hope you guys are having fun with this.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah,
something different to talk about and not have anything to do with reselling or any of that stuff. Just to have a little break from everything, just a conversation about different things. You know, Dolores gets her perspective because she's living over there in the UK, and it's a lot different than here. Things are a lot different all over the world than here. So, and then, you know, she's prepared and I am not. So we'll see what I'm going to come up with next week.
Can't wait.
I'll know maybe before we go on the air next Thursday. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Like Dolores has her little bullet points and sheets she's looking at. And I'm like,
I am.
What did I talk about? Oh, it's almost time to go on. Whoops.
Well, I just didn't want to miss any of the points out because some of them were so good that I was like, I can't even address this and address this. It's not that I'm reading off. It's just like, bring this up because what will people have to say about this, that, or the other? And it was so fun, guys. Oh my God. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel. Thumbs up. Don't forget to, if you're not following Daniel, follow Daniel. His channel's in the description of this video here, of this live. So thanks so much, everyone, for coming by.
Right here, hit her subscription buttons. And also, if you like this and you want it to continue, the thumbs up, we always need those. We're going by the YouTube algorithms and they're what they want. Also, after this is posted, leave a comment down below. They're all about the comments and all that stuff. And then subscribe to both of us and help us grow that way. So if you like the show, help us out in those small little ways, and always coming in and having chats with us. We appreciate it.
Yes, always coming. You're always welcome anytime here with either me or Daniel. We like y'all. We love y'all. We want you to come and hang out and talk to us. All right, guys, take care. Thanks so much, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Daniel's channel next week. Bye.
That is me.